Hi, welcome to your 10-minute tune-up. This week, we're going to be working on a psoas release. The psoas is a muscle that connects from your thoracic spine all the way down into your hip. So when this muscle gets tight, we tend to feel a little bit hunched forward. The muscle is deep within the abdominal cavity. So when we have a tight psoas or hunched forward, our low back tends to hurt. Those muscles get a little stretched out and our hips get really tight. So today we're going to do a standing psoas release. I have a yoga block here that I'm going to stand on. You can easily grab a couple books or a big enough book to stand on. You could even stand on a small stool. All right, let's get up. I'm going to place the block just next to my chair, and I'm going to be standing on it. But before we do that, we're going to start in Tadasana, which is called mountain pose. It's just standing on 2 feet. So make sure your feet are under your hips. Roll your shoulders back and down, and just let the arms hang gently by your side. Head over shoulders, close your eyes when you're ready, and just start to breathe slowly in and out of your nose. Slow, deep breaths. Every time you inhale, can you feel like you're standing a little taller? Every time you exhale, can you root down through your feet? Get used to this slow, steady breath, and we'll use it throughout class. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes. All right, make sure your block or your book is a little bit away from your chair. I'm going to stand down on it with my right foot. And I'm going to keep my left toes just on the floor gently. The chair is there for you to put your hand on. If it's too far away to reach, you can set yourself up so that you're at the wall. All right, once you get your setup, the first thing we're going to do is a hip dip. Okay, so right now, the right foot is on the block, the left toes are on the floor. You're going to work on pushing your right hip down, which then will lift the left hip up. Just give that a try. You might notice your toes floating off of the floor. And then you're going to do the opposite. You're going to dip the left hip down, the right hip up, and then that hanging foot slowly meets the ground. So just go up and down a couple times. The pelvis is 2 separate bones, so we're lifting one up as the other moves down, then one down as the other moves up. So I'm feeling a lot of strength and energy in my standing leg. I'm feeling a little bit loose through the lifting leg. All right. Find about a halfway point where the toes are just off the ground. We're going to start to swing that foot forward and back just very gently. You're going to see how far you can move it forward and how far you can move it back without changing the hips and without changing the spine. I'll give you a side view so you can see what we don't want to do. We don't want to move the spine or the shoulders with us as we go. We don't want to twist the hips forward and back as we go. We want to keep the hips totally in line and just slowly swing the leg back and forth. And it's okay if you feel the standing leg working. We also don't want to bend the knee or kick the foot forward. We want the leg to stay straight but loose, not so stiff. So loose, and just swing the leg back and forth. Keep your breath slow and steady. Keep the hips in line. And slowly slow down your pendulum until the left toes touch the floor. You can get off your block slowly and come back into standing pose, Tadasana. Let the arms rest by the sides, close your eyes, and observe how you feel. Notice if one leg feels longer or taller than the other. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and we'll switch sides. So the block is just a little bit away from your chair or the wall. Opposite foot steps on top. So my left foot is going onto my block and my right toes are touching the floor just to start. I like to keep the right hand on the right hip, and that'll help me kind of see how the hips move. Left hand on the chair or the wall, whatever can support you. And we'll do the hip dips first. So you want to feel like this left hip is pushing down into the block, and that in turn lifts the right hip up. So the toes are off the floor. Then we'll do the opposite by lifting the left hip up, dropping the right hip down. So just go up and down a couple times. And there's no twisting in the spine. There's no angling in the shoulders or the hips. You're trying to keep your body pretty still while you do this. So up and down a few times. Keep your breath slow and steady. The toe gently touches the floor, and then the toe gently rises. All right, and you're going to stop somewhere in the middle here where the toe is off the floor, so you're balancing. And then you can begin your leg swing. So I just start really slowly, maybe 1 or 2 inches forward, 1 or 2 inches back. And then gradually you can get a little more momentum and the leg can flow freely. Again, I'll give you a side view. You don't have to move. I'm just going to move in case you need a bit more visual here. So again, we don't want to twist the hips with us as we go. We don't want to bend the knee. And we don't want anything to happen in the spine or the shoulder. So you stay really still. As you lift up through your chest, lift up through your head, root down through the left foot, and just let the right leg swing gently. Again, this is going to help us release the psoas, which is a muscle that starts in the thoracic spine. It's attached to a vertebrae, and it attaches down into the hip. So when that muscle gets tight, we tend to feel tightness in the hips. We tend to pull out our low back or feel pain in the low back. So that's what we're trying to combat here by releasing the psoas muscle. A couple more slow breaths as you swing your leg. Stand tall, root down through your standing leg, lift up through your chest. You can slowly slow the leg down and let the foot come down. We'll come back to our standing pose, Tadasana. Feet are under the hips, shoulders back and down. Let the arms hang gently by the sides. Close your eyes and just observe how you feel in your body. Every time you exhale, root down through your feet. Squeeze your thighs a little bit. Pull your belly in. Lift up through your chest and head. And slowly open your eyes. Feel free to shake out both legs. And we'll end with a standing pigeon pose. You can also do this seated, as you know, but I like to do it standing because I have a little more control. So stand a little bit behind your chair or desk. Bend your knees evenly, weight is evenly in the feet, and push your hips back a little bit. Pour your weight into your left foot, and you can cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Now here's where you get all the control. So you can stay upright like this. You could bend your left knee a little bit more as if you're sitting down into a chair behind you. And then you can fold your upper body over your lower body. So this targets the glutes and the hip. So see if you can breathe into those areas that feel tight. You could even bring your hands all the way down to the ground if you'd like. I'll say somewhere up in the middle, and maybe even put your head down. Let's take a couple slow breaths here, pushing your hips back and down if you can. Breathe into your hips, into your low back, in through your belly where the psoas resides. And slowly come out of your pose. Take your time. Unwind your legs. Feel free to shake it out as we switch sides. And come back down into your chair pose. Push your hips back. Pour your weight into your right foot. Pick up your left ankle. Cross it over the right thigh. And again, you could just hang out here, stay upright, breathe. Or you can bend your right knee and push your hips back. You can lower your chest towards your left leg, maybe even bringing your hands to the floor. So you control how far you go down, and no matter where you stop, really breathe into those areas that feel tight. So for me, that's for sure the left hip, the left side of the low back, I'm trying to imagine breathing down through the psoas. Slow, steady breaths in and out of your nose. And you'll take your time coming out. Unwind your legs, shake them out, and stand one more time in Tadasana. Shoulders over hips, hips over ankles. Close your eyes and take a couple cleansing deep breaths. And imagine that you're releasing any tension that resides in that psoas muscle that connects your spine to your hips. And we'll end class with a big breath. When you're ready, inhale through your nose. Open wide and exhale. Slowly open your eyes and welcome back into your day. Thanks so much for joining me today. We'll see you next time. Bye.